This tutorial will go over the requirements for the timeline assignment in both the ID step and the connection step. So whereas the other tutorial went over the technical aspects of how to post to Tiki and also that you need to post to Blackboard as well, in this tutorial I'm going to talk just a little bit about the ideas and the goals behind the assignment, just to give you a little bit better sense of kind of what I'm looking for as you work on this one. So I've been doing this timeline assignment for a couple of years now, and it seems to be a pretty popular assignment in a lot of ways. As you've noticed, though, there is a little bit of work that needs to be done at the beginning just to make sure that everybody's up to speed on using Tiki and understanding what the goals are. So I'm not going to read through this entire document, but again, I just want to give you a sense of what we're looking for as we do this. So you can see here the learning competencies. You're going to identify key themes, people, places, or issues in New Mexico's past. Each topic that you choose has to pertain to the unit that we're currently studying. So for example, for Unit 2, you can't choose Billy the Kid because Billy the Kid will come later in the course during Unit 5 in terms of chronology and themes. So make sure that you choose something that is relevant to the unit that we're currently working on. As you kind of prepare for this, something else you want to think about is how can you add to what we've learned about the person, the theme, or the event that you've chosen. What can you add to what we've already learned about it in the readings and in the videos? You could just sort of synthesize and bring together many of the things that you found out and things that you thought were striking and new. But that's why I assign that element of finding an outside source. So hopefully you can find another source on the internet. Be sure to find a source that's credible, and you can refer to a couple of references that I'll have in the course shell in Blackboard if you need help thinking about that a little bit. But you want to find something that's credible, something that jibes with the other types of information that you found, and something that will add to our knowledge of the topic that you've chosen. So that's why you choose that outside source, and you use the information that you find there to help you write your post. So as you'll see here, the identification step requires you to find something unique, so you have to put that placeholder in, as I mentioned in the other video. You can't choose and post on something that someone else has already taken. Also, please do be aware that there are multiple names for some events. I give the example here of the Chimayo Rebellion of 1837, also known as the Rio Arriba Revolt. So please be careful not to copy, or not copy, but just to not choose and write on the same thing that someone else has already written on. In the Word document or Google document or whatever word processor you use, you're going to do your research. So once you put down the placeholder, that's when you can go and do the work that you need to do for the timeline. You need to identify the title of the topic that you've chosen, the person, event, or theme. You need to include the URL for your outside source, and please note that you need to avoid encyclopedia sources like Wikipedia and bio.com. So find something that's a little more substantive than those tend to be. Then you also need to find an image or a video to represent the person, event, or theme that you have chosen. Some don't have good videos, depending on what you choose. Others are difficult to find good images. If you can't find an exact image of the person that you chose, one example that I can think of is Governor Tomas Velez Cachupin, that we'll talk about in Chapter 6 of the reading. There's no good image that I've been able to find, at least online, of him. So if you choose him, find something that relates. You can get a map of New Mexico from the era. You could do a trading post at that time. Something that would make sense for that. The kind of key to this, once you've identified this person and explained, the who, what, why, where, and when, is to also explain the historical significance. And I have a link there that you can follow to read up more on historical significance. But what I'm asking for with significance is for you to draw some conclusions and to analyze the topic that you've chosen. So again, you need to do more than just summarize. You need to also evaluate why this person, event, or place is important to New Mexico's past and why we should know about it. You could also think of this as the so what moment of your timeline. So if you've written a timeline ID post and you have not answered the so what question, make sure you go back and do that and try to be as specific as you can. This is something that, as I write as a historian, as I work to publish articles and things like this, editors always tell us that, right up front, you need to let your readers know, so what, who cares, so that they'll understand, why this is important and what they might be able to take away from it. So hopefully all those elements are present in the example that you can look at that I created. That's the one that I posted to the course timeline. So you can't choose Beringia or the Bering Strait land bridge because I've already done that one. Once you've done that, remember that's due the first night, the first day of the unit by the end of the day at midnight. Then for the second day of each unit, you'll go and you'll look over the course timeline and you'll find someone else's post that connects to yours. And then you'll write a paragraph that explains what that connection is and why that connection is significant. So again, that historical significance is key in the connection step as well. One other thing I want you to look out for, and I'll scroll this down, is that you don't make a comparison, but you make a connection. So you need to choose something that has some sort of direct tie to the topic that you've chosen. Human migration from Asia to the Americas, for example, is a topic that has a direct connection to Beringia, the topic that I chose. I could compare Beringia to the Galapagos Islands, but that would be a comparison unless I can find some sort of direct connection of people who migrated from both places. Again, I've sort of just pulled that one off the top of my head, but that's an example of what I'm getting at here in asking you to make a connection rather than a comparison. Also, and this is important, if you can't find a timeline post that connects well to your ID post, go ahead and just choose something from the reading. So in other words, it's okay to choose a connection post or a connection topic that hasn't been posted to the timeline. I would rather that you make a strong connection in that part of your post than to make a very tenuous connection just because you have to pick something that's already been posted. So I hope that's helpful and that all makes sense. As you scroll down here, you will find the rubrics. Those are also available in Blackboard. For your work on these assignments, you can zoom in on those so that you can see them better once you access the timeline assignment. Please, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help out and talk with you about those questions.